In today's video, we're going to be asking the question, will Pilates help me to lose weight? Hello everyone, I'm Ollie from OG Pilates and I help people to get a stronger core and feel less stiff. If you're new to the channel, click the subscribe button in the corner now and you can stay updated with my latest videos. Make sure to click the bell icon too so you get notified when the newest videos come out. Be sure to stick around to the end of today's video because I'll be sharing with you 3 tips to help you lose weight. So, will Pilates help you to lose weight? What an excellent question I hear you asking. We can break the question down a little bit further so we can know a little bit better what we mean by losing weight. Are we referring to losing all weight on our body? Do we want to lose the bones? Do we want to lose the skin and the rest of the organs? Do we want to lose the muscle on our body? Or in fact, are we referring to body fat? So if we're talking about body fat, we can rephrase the question, will Pilates help me to lose body fat? And the answer is yes, it is certainly possible. So just a quick disclaimer here, I'm going to be talking about some dietary and nutrition advice, although I am not a dietitian or nutritionist. So it's best to either speak to a dietitian or nutritionist if you have any specific questions. However, I can share with you from my experience of training people to lose weight as a personal trainer and a Pilates instructor, which is what I'll be discussing with you today. Just to elaborate a little bit, when we're talking about losing body fat, we can ask ourselves the question, what is a calorie deficit? So first of all, we can ask ourselves the question, what is a calorie? Now you may have heard the term calorie used before, and really that's just a way of measuring energy. In the same way as a watt or a joule is a way of measuring energy, a calorie is a way of measuring energy in food or indeed through physical activity. But then we can ask ourselves the question, how can we get a calorie deficit? So a calorie deficit is the idea that we have the intake of calories that we use in a day, so that is from the food and the drinks that we consume, and then we have the output of energy throughout the day. So this comes from physical activity, whether that is walking, brushing your teeth, combing your hair, or something more vigorous such as a fully blown workout. It can either be from sleeping because we use energy whilst sleeping. We've got the idea of calorie input and a calorie output. We can define a little better the idea of a deficit. So we have a baseline of the calories that we need, and if we increase the amount of energy that we consume, the energy that is left over will either need to be used by our physical activity or it will be stored on our bodies as fat. The other option we have is to increase our physical activity, and by doing this it will mean that we will be below the baseline. This also works if we have fewer calories that we consume during the day than we need, and we'll come into a deficit. We'll also come into that deficit by increasing our physical activity. One of the ways that we can increase our physical activity is Pilates. Yes, you guessed it. Okay, so that's one way that Pilates can help you to change your body and lose body fat. Another idea that we come across when we're talking about losing body fat is the idea of lean body mass, or LBM. Our lean body mass is the amount of mass that we have on our bodies if we took away all of the fat, all that adipose tissue. The more that we can increase the lean body mass, the more energy that we'll consume when we're at rest. So we can compare our LBM to a car's engine. You can imagine that if you're in a small car that is stopped at the traffic lights with the engine turns on, and there's another car that pulls up next to it, there's a big car that's also at the traffic lights with its engine turned on. The car with the smaller engine will consume less energy than the car with the big engine, even though they're both staying there. We can apply the same idea to our bodies. In fact, that if we increase the engine of our body by increasing the muscle mass and the lean tissue of our body, that we will in fact consume more energy when we're at rest. So when you're on the sofa, when you're, lying down, lounging around, you're going to be using more energy, and this is a good thing. So this relates back to Pilates because you can increase your lean body mass by doing resistance training, and Pilates is a form of resistance training. Next point that I'll make is that when we're looking to lose body fat, it's best to focus on big compound movements. So these can be movements such as squats or push-ups, where we're working multiple muscle groups across multiple joints. In Pilates, we do a combination of smaller exercises to work stability, which is also great. It's going to prevent us from getting injured, as well as improving stability throughout our body in general. And we also have the bigger compound movements that we can do that will work our global muscles, so the bigger muscle groups. And if we're working bigger muscle groups, we're going to use up more energy, which is a good thing if we want to lose weight. To answer the question, can Pilates help with fat loss? Yes. So well done for making it to the end of the video. I'm going to show you 3 tips to help you lose body fat. Tip number 1 is to reduce the amount of refined sugar that you're eating. So this can be sugar that can be just in the packets that you're pouring into your tea or coffee. Rather than having 2 teaspoons of sugar, if you're having that, just have 1 teaspoon. If you're having 1 teaspoon, have half a teaspoon. If you're having half a teaspoon, try with no sugar at all. There you go. If you're eating sweets from a packet, eat slightly less sweets, or in fact, try switching it for a piece of fruit and see if that helps you. I know it's not really the same thing, but small steps will lead to bigger changes. Tip number 2 is to drink plenty of water. So your body is made up of 80% water or thereabouts, and it's important that we're keeping ourselves hydrated throughout the day. Often, when we find ourselves having the urge to eat, it is in fact because we are dehydrated and thirsty. So try first to have a glass of water and see if you still feel hungry after having the glass of water. Tip number 3, I know it's an obvious one, however it's still important. Exercise regularly. So the idea of exercise often has connotations that are slightly bad. You know, you hear the word exercise and you think, I don't want to do that. However, it doesn't have to all be bad, and in fact you can include it within your routine of exercise, Pilates for example, of course. However, it could be something as simple as going for a walk, or indeed going for a cycle, or indeed just doing a bit of stretching. You know, if you've got 5 minutes and you spend a lot of time sat down, you can just stand up, move around, give your body a wiggle, and it's better than doing nothing at all. Cool, so congratulations on making it to the end of the video. Leave a comment below letting me know your tips and tricks with fat loss, or if you've got any questions related to Pilates. Perhaps you've had some success with Pilates and losing weight. I'd love to hear what you think. Cool, so give this video a thumbs up, make sure to subscribe by clicking the button on screen now, and I hope to see you soon in my next video.